Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Laura, aka PURPLEXEDQT. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you are one of the 71 that left, see ya. So how you guys doing today? I'm doing wonderful. Phoenix's surgery went fantastic. Except now we're back to square one, waiting on him, hand and foot. And it's not fun, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. But no, it went well. And that's it. So, how you guys doing? Danny, I have not checked emails yet. I will check it tonight, though, I promise. Am I frozen because chat's not moving? Nothing. Nobody's saying a word. I don't see it on screen. There we go. Thank you, Christina. I don't know why my chat's not working on screen. Hey, Kaz. Okay, maybe it'll work now. There we go. All right. Hold on. Forgot my little poll. All right. Yeah, I lost 71 subscribers. Sticking up for Zavgirl. Now they could stay gone. Bye-bye. I'm changing my name to Rodney Dangerfield. So I just want y'all to know. My new name is going to be Perplexed RD. Instead of QT, it's going to be RD. For Rodney Dangerfield. That is my new name. So just call me Perplexed RD. So I also want to clarify some things first. I'm sure everybody's familiar with what the Jerks had, formerly the Circle Jerks, had put out about, thank you, Alabama, about heels in the air. All my regulars know I called this out a couple of weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever. The difference is, though, I didn't go into full detail. I wasn't going into full detail because I don't know. I just, if I'm going to deep dive into something, it's going to be something worth a fuck, like a case. I'm not deep diving into another creator. I don't care that much about another creator to deep dive. So that's why I didn't deep dive into it. But it's on my video. I know it's members only. Sorry, guys. But it's the video that's titled Well, Well, Well. And for those of you that were here that know, you guys know that I pointed out, wow, I think she's actually racist. So, but again, I didn't deep dive into it because I don't have the time to deep dive into another creator. It's just not worth it for me. So that's why I didn't deep dive into it. But here I was making labels because I got to get some candle orders out. And I happened to notice that Alabama, which is where I live, posted Dispatch Audio. And it said brand new. They just posted it like 48 minutes ago. So I tried looking for other sites to see if it was brand new. And everyone that put it out said it's new. You know, put it out within the last hour. So I was hoping that it was Carlee's. But it's not. I've heard so much audio. I'm not 100% convinced that it is brand new, but I can't find it past an hour ago. So I guess it is. But I know that Ichtmel had audio before anybody. And he really pieced it together. Him and 2 of his subs or something had gone through everybody's audio. So that's why I'm thinking I'm not positive I haven't heard this before, but I don't know. I've had it on my channel for 2.5 days since before she came. Okay. So then how I knew, I wasn't sure if I had heard it, but everyone's putting it out like it's brand new. So that's why I'm like, I was half tempted this morning to call the police department and find out if, like, we need to worry. Is it something that maybe some kidnapper is coming this way? So I decided to call. They never got back to me. They haven't gotten back to me. But I mean, I have a teenage daughter. If there's somebody running around kidnapping people, I'd like to know. You know what I mean? I would like to know. I put together a timestamp. So you know which one I'm talking about, Red Rum? Like, you heard the one that they put out 48 minutes ago? Because that's what I'm saying. I can't remember if I've actually heard it or not, because I've heard so much of it. But yeah, I'm waiting for them to call me back. I personally, I think everybody's full of shit, if you want the truth. Hey, Lindsay. So what I want to do is, let's go ahead first. I know I'm a little late on this. Some of you guys have seen this already. Some of you have not. But let's see what the parents had to say on the Today Show. And I'll give my opinion on it. But she actually was just... That's what I'm saying, Red Rum. I've heard so much. So that's why I'm just not sure if I've heard this particular one or not. But like I said, everybody's putting it out as it was 40 minutes ago. And then there's a guy, a creator that I found. But we'll get to all that. Let's first start with the parents.
Another case we've been following, it's a strange one out of Alabama. Yeah, the parents of the woman who vanished for 48 hours after calling police to report a toddler walking alone down a highway. Well, they are speaking out in an exclusive interview. NBC's Priscilla Thompson spoke with them. She joins us now. Hey, Priscilla, good morning.
Hoda, good morning. As questions around this case intensify, the family is urging the public not to speculate, saying that it's upsetting to Carlee, and right now their focus is on her physical and mental well-being. That moment you all first laid eyes on her again, what was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours. What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation. And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just...
Okay, let me say this. As someone who lives an hour and a half away from this, you're also Birmingham has a very big campus there of University of Alabama, Birmingham. There's a lot of kids at stake here. Why wouldn't the mother be able to say anything? Are you suing someone? Why can't you say anything? That I don't understand. Same thing with the police. If she was so distraught and there was something that was so wrong, do you know how many kids you're putting in danger by saying nothing? This isn't like a lawsuit. If it was a lawsuit and you couldn't say anything, I'm all for that. But that's not what this is. And this really bothered me, especially because I have a college-age daughter. I have a college-age son who has friends that go to that college right near there. Like, you don't put everybody in danger for something that's so minimal. If it was this bad, then tell everybody what happened. That's why this doesn't make sense.
Making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe?
Again, why can't you discuss the details? What is so hidden that you can't discuss the details? Why? Nobody's asking for anything. Nobody's asking for anything that would prohibit the arrest of somebody or anything like that. So I am so confused as to why she can't say anything. Why? You can't. Carlee said that someone had blonde hair and blue eyes. It was a black man. It was a Chinese man. Like, why can't you fucking say anything? So just put everybody else in danger because you're not allowed to say anything? Get the fuck out of here.
Believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so investigators are obviously busy on this case. What are they looking into going forward?
Yeah, Hoda, right now they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate very slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps leading up to her disappearance, but those 48 hours when she was gone still remain a mystery. Hoda?
Yeah, leaving behind her phone, her pocketbook, and all those things, a lot of things that investigators are looking into. Priscilla, thank you.
Jackie, don't hate me. I saw your email, your voicemail. I haven't listened to it yet, though, but I did see it. So that was the first thing I want to show you guys, was the parents. I am not convinced that the parents are in on this scam, to be honest. I'm really not. I'm more apt to believe the parents aren't involved and they're just going by what they see. So again, I'm not convinced that the parents are involved. I'm really leaning towards they're not involved. Now, somebody sent me something this morning or it was Shelley actually, where Greg Hughes says there's a lapse in time frame. I didn't watch the video. I don't know how true, but he says there's some kind of lapse in a time frame. Exactly, Green Eye. I guess no one's in danger, but there's this horrible person out there that the police have not even held a press conference for. But she was so distraught that she walked barefoot. I mean, come on. No, she was released from the hospital immediately. She was like in and out. But she didn't have shoes on, which means she walked barefoot. Never stopped to ask anybody, hey, can I have a ride, something. She walked through this neighborhood with bare feet. Nobody stopped her or questioned her. Come on. No, she was released from the hospital very quickly. Like in and out within a few hours. They didn't even keep her overnight for, what's the word? For observation or anything. So she was good enough to leave. In my experience of looking at cases, studying cases, if she was fighting for her life and things were so horrible, she absolutely would have still been in the hospital for her own safety. Because remember, this person that, and this is something I haven't really heard anybody discuss. This person who kidnapped her, who allegedly took her in the woods and kidnapped her, but took none of her personal stuff. Do you not think maybe she knows the kidnappers might know where she lives? Because she was obviously targeted. So don't you think that somebody would know, that she would be afraid? I know personally, if I was kidnapped, I would be so scared to even look over my shoulder. I would be scared to drive. I would be scared of my own fucking shadow. And I definitely wouldn't want to go home. I'd feel much safer being at the hospital because I was just attacked for 2 days and I'm afraid if I go home, oh yeah, they took her food. I'm afraid that if I go home, maybe the kidnappers are going to find me and, you know, come to my house. I mean, people have PTSD from being kidnapped or, you know, SA'd or anything for years and years and years and years. So you're going to tell me that she's overnight, she's perfectly fine? Within a few hours, they release her from the hospital, not scared, not traumatized, nothing. Okay. And you would think, here's another thing, she was barefoot. How far do you think you can walk without stepping on something in the middle of the night? Because remember, she came home at night. So I think she came home at like 10 o'clock at night. So that means she was walking without anything on her feet. And you can't see in front. You don't know what you're stepping on. So the streets were perfectly paved that she didn't need shoes and she didn't cut her foot on something? Okay. I'll believe that one. Look, I live here. The streets are not great at all. And there's plenty of hills. And there's lots of shit you're going to step on at night, especially bugs. So wherever she came from, she walked miles without shoes on. No, not buying it. She would have stitches in her feet. Because I would think also, using logic, that if I'm kidnapped, I'm trying to get home as fast as possible. If I escape my kidnapper and I'm barefoot, I'm not watching at what I'm stepping on. I'm just fucking running. I'm just going as fast as I can if I'm on 2 feet. And if I'm barefoot, again, I'm going to step on something that will cut my foot open. I am going to have something in my foot or something. Nobody mentioned her feet or what her feet look like. And I bet that cops are thinking the same way I am. That's my guess. What do her feet look like? So what I think they're looking for personally in this investigation, I think they're looking for her sneakers. I think they're looking for where she went in the woods. I think that they're looking for signs of how her boyfriend was involved or how someone was involved. So yeah, they're still doing an investigation. No doubt they're doing an investigation. But they're not doing an investigation to find a kidnapper. They're doing an investigation to try to find what evidence they have to put it against her. That's my opinion. Or they could have said, if you say anything, we'll unalive your whole family. So that's why they aren't saying anything. Yeah, I don't believe that. That's in the movies. Yeah, that's totally in the movies. 2023, they don't do shit like that. Because you want to know how I know that, Alabama? I'll tell you. They would have taken her stuff. They would have taken her purse. They would have taken a lot of stuff. Exactly. Alabama roads are a nightmare. That's what I'm saying. And we don't know how far she came. But I would bet money that they're looking in the woods for her feet. For her shoes. They're looking for any trace of her shoes. I don't know, Texan, if she had marks on her, but I do know she was in and out of the hospital within a few hours. So that's what made me start thinking that, yeah, what about her feet? What's on her feet? There's nothing on her feet. She, and that's another thing that I thought of. Not just Alabama, but nationwide. You have a viral case. Whether it's brand new or old, you have a viral case. Show me a viral case where news reporters were not at the hospital when she was released. Because I did some research and I couldn't find one. At no point do reporters not go to the hospital. At no point do the reporters listen to the police when they want to hound someone and get information. Oh my God, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever they do with what they do. But tell me when you can remember a high profile case or a case like this where the reporters were not at the hospital when she was released or going in. Doesn't happen. Only way that happens is if the cops tell them, don't. Get out of here. There's a reason. But we didn't even get footage of that happening. We didn't even get footage that they ran to the hospital to see her being admitted. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why? How was there no reporter at the beginning or at the end? I just don't. I don't ever remember seeing a case where they were not at the hospital and, trying to get coverage of her, trying to get video of her. Are you okay? Are you scared? Are you this? Are you that? Even when an abductor is still on the loose. As far as the GoFundMe goes, there were two big donators. One was $20,000, one was $25,000. Those were both returned. No, what I think happened, there was a little plot going. I don't know. 45,000 was returned. I saw that somewhere. Because the people that donated the 25,000, the 20,000 had stipulations on it. As far as donating, there were stipulations on it. So they definitely got it back. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I honestly cannot think of one case where they weren't at the hospital going or coming. even if it was 3 in the morning. Now, why she did it, I don't know. But I found this guy before, earlier, called Aaron Stoner, I think his name is. Really good video. I don't know who he is. I never watched him before. But 50 employees have been terminated for releasing information on this case. No shit. All right, before we watch it, let me play you guys the audio. All right, that's the video. Okay, dispatch audio from night Carlee went missing 2 hours ago. Then Alabama.com. Oh, they posted another one an hour ago. Well, hold on. I'll play both.
42 for 71.
42.
71 is going to be 459 south, mile marker 10. It's going to be a child walking on the 3-4-year-old child walking on the side of the interstate next to her. RP's going to be close by in a red Mercedes sedan with the hazards on. Child's going to be a white male wearing a white t-shirt and a diaper.
42 copy from YMCA.
4.
There's breaks of silence in it. It's not me.
442. RP's advising there's no cars in the area. Looks like the child's been abandoned on the side of the road.
42 copy.
You're actually going to have to access from 31. They're going to be plotting just before the exit. 441, can I get you to head that way?
10-3, I'm using that way. When you still got him on the phone.
Negative, but she's stated that she would stand by for police. CLA, red and color, to Nicole Russell out of Birmingham, 1011.
Stop 13. I'm going to ride on 71 as well.
4, we're not getting the female to answer.
42, I copy. Are there any numbers associated with the 28?
10-4, that's the RP. We're trying to call her back. She's not answering.
They're slow here, Red Rum.
$33.
33.
Rico to 67 in the Alpha Echo.
10-4.
511. I'm around the interstate as well. Can you give me a description on the child, and were they southbound, walking southbound?
10-4. Southbound, walking southbound. It was a toddler, 3 or 4-year-old, wearing a white t-shirt and a diaper. RP arrived in a red Mercedes, unknown what the RP's description was going to be.
Copy. Thank you. 42, just be advised her vehicle is unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
Ten four.
Gravity by Rescue 11, command terminated.
Okay, so like I said, Alabama must be slow because they put this out 48 minutes ago. Now it's 2 hours ago. Dispatch audio from night Carlee went missing. So I assumed it was new. But they have another one that I don't think I heard. I just saw it. Actually, let me go there.
Do not knowingly pass. Police are en route. Unresponsive female is breathing.
38, I'm 23. Be advised, we've got a large crowd out here in the street.
Quinn 11 on scene staging. Quinn 11 be knowingly passed. Quinn 11 be advised. Scene is secure, you can go on in.
Agent 5 is on scene. Huckleberry Command.
Agent 5 on scene, Huckleberry Command.
540 to 512.
12.
Hey, we should have all the family members that were here on the front porch.
Coming up 23.
If one patient en route to UAV by Rescue 11 with additional medic. Only command terminated.
Out to UAV with additional medic. Command terminated.
Why are you not investing?
That.
All right. The thing that worries me too, I don't think the cops seem too worried from the beginning. So that's why I'm like, why aren't they a little more concerned? Even like her car not being there or her stuff not being there, I did not cork. Her stuff not being there, nothing. Her phone was left, her Apple Watch was left, any traceable device was left. So this has really been bothering me. So this morning when I was doing stuff for Phoenix, I was looking for something to listen to. And I came across this guy. Never heard him before, never saw him before. Really good. I sent Laura a full hour video without sound from another creator who ordered it from the Alabama State traffic cams. Did you see anything in it? Can the public get a description of the abductor who is still out there endangering young women and the child? Yeah, they're not even calling me back. So, there's that. Alright, so I'm going to play this video. I don't think I could have done anything even close to as good as this guy did. So hold on. I got a package? No. Alright, let me just flip through. The beginning, it just goes through.
According to Carlee's mom.
Alright. Sage just walked in. Phoenix is home. Dayton's home. Phoenix can't move. He's like stuck. So, alright. His name is Aaron Stoner. I don't know if he's a stoner or what. A-R-I-N. I'll drop his link when it's over.
Carlee left Taziki's at around a small child who appeared to be 3 to 4 years old, walking along the side of Interstate 459 South. At 9:34 p.m., Carlee called 911, told the dispatcher that she saw the child be located inside this green rectangle. Officers were immediately dispatched to this location. After the phone call with the dispatcher ended, Carlee called a family member at 9:36 p.m. Carlee exited her car and walked towards the family member over the phone that the child did not respond. Just seconds later, the family member heard Carlee scream, and then Carlee was gone. The phone did not hang up, but only arrived minutes later. They found Carlee's car parked in the breakdown lane on the right side of Interstate 459 South near the mile 11 marker. But Carlee was nowhere to be found. Carlee was reportedly only about 10 minutes away from her house when she disappeared. Her wig, hat, and cell phone were recovered in the area near where her car was found. There was no child seen in the area, and law enforcement has stated that there have been no reports of a missing child in Hoover, Alabama. I checked Amber Alerts in Alabama and nearby states over the last week, and I was not able to find any possible Amber Alerts for a child. Something that strikes me as being odd is...
One thing I do want to point out, though, there's lots of kids that are missing that don't get Amber Alerts. The only reason that someone gets an Amber Alert or a child gets an Amber Alert if they know what car they were taken in. So don't think that a child's not abducted just because there's no Amber Alert. And that goes across the board in any state. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, an Amber Alert will only be alerted if they know what car that child was taken in. Then they can issue an Amber Alert. Other than that, lots of kids go missing and nobody has an Amber Alert for them. So I just want to point that out.
Is that Carlee's car was discovered abandoned here, near mile marker 11.4.
That's another thing. The cops originally said mile marker 10.
However, when Carlee called 911, she told dispatchers that the child was seen walking near the flyover to the Galleria and Interstate 150, which is located all the way down here.
Now, let me point out, if this is true, no, Betty, that's across the board. Any state. An Amber Alert will only be issued if they know it's a known car. They can't issue an Amber Alert for just anything. That is part of the Amber Alert problem, is that it has to be a known car. So the reason why I decided not to drive down there was actually this guy's video. Besides, it's like 112 degrees out. But you can see there's no exit ramp. This is a really clear picture There's no exit ramp. So the theory that she drove around, it didn't happen. But she was saying that she saw the baby up here. But she stopped over here. Now, could she have been wrong? Yeah. But the difference is you would have passed this sign. So you would have known the difference between that sign and this sign. Just saying.
Something else that I want to point out is the gap in time between when Carlee left Taziki's restaurant at approximately 9 p.m. and when she makes the call to 911 at 9:34 p.m. That's 34 minutes of time.
And I also want to point out this guy literally saved me the trip. I did not have to drive down there because that was one of the things I was looking at, how far it was. And then when I watched this video, I was like, man, this guy saved me a whole bunch of time.
But it only takes about 10 minutes to drive from Taziki's to where Carlee reported seeing the child. We do know that at 9:19 p.m., Carlee called her mom and spoke with her briefly, telling her she was almost home with the food. So at 9:19 p.m., Carlee was still safe and had not yet seen the child. So that means we are still missing about 14 minutes of time from when Carlee hung up the phone with her mom and when she called 911. Some have speculated that after Carlee saw the child, she exited immediately, drove back north, and then drove back south on the 459 to get back to the area where she saw the child, which would have taken her about 10 minutes. A few days ago, traffic camera footage was released showing the portion of Interstate 459 South where Carlee's car was found. The footage was captured from this traffic camera seen here. Law enforcement have confirmed that Carlee's red Mercedes can be seen in the footage driving slowly south on Interstate 459 in the breakdown lane with its hazard lights on. Carlee's car suddenly stops and parks adjacent to mile marker 11.4, seen here on Google Street View. In the traffic footage that was released, Carlee's car remains parked near mile marker 11.4 with the hazard lights on, and then eventually law enforcement arrive on the scene towards the end of the video. I'm only going to play about...
Jen, I would bet it's probably the ones that ICTML had. ICTML had every 911 call to date, like the other day. So I'm sure it's the same ones.
70% of the footage. I'm including a link to the footage in its entirety in the description below if you want to go check it out.
Like, ICTML literally had it before mainstream media. It was pretty wild. Now, personally, the one thing that makes this the biggest hoax, in my opinion, is the fact that she allegedly spoke to a child. Not that she just saw one and she was pulled over waiting for the police. No. That I could understand, then I wouldn't be saying it's a hoax. But the fact that she claims she spoke to the toddler, a toddler that nobody else saw, that's when I think that is where I believe it is where the hoax came in. If she hadn't have spoken to a child, if there was no child that she was like, oh, I can't find it, I don't know what happened to it, let me get out of my car and see if it went in the woods, something like that, I'm in agreement that it may not be a hoax. But the fact that she allegedly spoke to this child in her car, because we can see that's the only place she was, is when I realized this was total bullshit. And people forget that she actually asked a child. Jen, I don't believe that at all. Not that I don't believe you. I don't believe that someone claimed it was to hear women and child screaming. I don't believe that. That would have been all over the news.
To help viewers get a better understanding of this area where Carlee went missing, I have created a daytime overlay of the nighttime footage. Please be aware that these two cars that are seen in the overlay footage were parked there in the daytime hours and were not present at night when Carlee was parked. So please ignore these vehicles. I spent a great deal of time carefully analyzing this Interstate 459 traffic footage repeatedly, and there are some points of interest that I want to share with you all. Shortly after Carlee's car is parked, the driver's side door can be seen opening, and a leg can be seen stepping out here. I'll replay this a few times.
So, Red Rum, what are your thoughts on it? You think it was a hoax? The full dispatch audio, I don't know. I don't remember hearing, and I thought I've heard it all. I don't think she has schizophrenia. Al, I was just thinking about you the other day.
The person then exits the driver's side, closes the door behind them, and then walks around behind the car towards the passenger side of the vehicle.
Now, mind you, this is right at the same time that this person allegedly asks a child, "Are you okay?" So where is the child in this audio?
The person then opens the passenger door and appears to bend over and go inside the vehicle. The person then comes back out of the car and stands on the passenger side of the car for several seconds.
In my opinion, that was her getting back in the car, taking off her Apple Watch, taking off her phone, taking out bobby pins or something in her wig, something. That's what I think. That's why she went into the car on the passenger side. That's my opinion.
Then, suddenly, they disappear from view. It appears that someone can be seen moving to the right towards the woods away from the car. The movement starts here and ends here. I'll replay this several times. It's very difficult to see, so I've included a rectangle around the area where you should be looking, along with an arrow to help guide you. I don't see where the person goes specifically. However, we can deduce that they went west into the nearby woods. We know this because this person never crosses over to the east side of the interstate, nor can they be seen walking up the shoulder of the interstate north or south. And there is no car that stops and picks this person.
And that's what I was saying last night about the headlights. That nobody walked in front of the headlights or behind the headlights after going from the passenger to the driver's side. So the person would have had to come smack out of the woods, which we would have seen. Even if that happened, we would have seen it through the headlights. What's up, East Coast?
Person up. So the only place they could have gone is west into the woods. These woods are not very thick. And once on the other side of the woods, there's a very nice upscale neighborhood. Most assuredly, some of these residents in this neighborhood have surveillance cameras and/or doorbell cameras. And I'm certain law enforcement have canvassed this neighborhood already, asking for these neighbors to check their footage. Here are some still images I've extracted and enhanced of the person standing beside Carlee's Mercedes.
Now, in my opinion, I agree. This is two different people. That's one person, here's another person. She's wearing a white shirt. But I think that's what the arrows mean, that these are two different people. though, I think it's too hard to see if it's a guy or a girl or anything. I mean, I don't see how anybody can see if it's a guy or a girl from a blurry image like that.
This person that gets out of the driver's side of Carlee's car clearly does not look like a 5'4", 155-pound female to me. I'm curious to hear your opinions on this in the comments section.
Now, looking at this the way it is, I would agree with that. However, there's lighting, there's the way things turn. Like this right here to me looks like an upside down in a convertible. I mean, so I get that that's definitely a shadow, but we don't know which way it was turned. I mean, it looks like they have like a Barbie doll waist. So you can't tell who it is. Like, if you ask me, they're wearing like a black robe. They got white pants on and work boots. I mean, everybody's going to see something different. But like, I see a V-neck here. I see a head here. I mean, everybody sees something different. So I don't really believe you can tell by these photographs how tall they were, what they were wearing, or anything. Just my opinion.
It's my opinion that this person has dark hair or is wearing a dark colored hat. Their skin tone appears light to tan, but the lighting is so poor I can't say with any certainty.
Now, I don't have the best eye vision, but I don't know how you can see if somebody's light-skinned or dark-skinned in this. I just don't. I mean, you could tell it's a dark hat or dark hair, and this looks like a brown jacket, but nobody's wearing a jacket in 90 degrees lately. So I just don't know how people can tell.
But they do not appear to have dark skin tone. I'll leave it up to you all to decide. In these still images, there appears to be two people present, but due to the poor lighting, I can't say with any certainty. Again, I'll leave it up to you to decide. A trucker that was driving south on Interstate 459 around the time of Carlee's disappearance reported to police that they saw a gray vehicle in the area that was parked in front of Carlee's car, and they also saw a light skin tone male near her car in the traffic footage that was released. We never see a car parked in front of Carlee's Mercedes. So if this trucker is correct, then Carlee may have been abducted somewhere else on Interstate 459, and Carlee's car was then driven to where we see it in the footage by her possible abductor. All of this would have had to have happened very quickly, because law enforcement were on the scene less than 10 minutes after Carlee placed the 911 call. On July 15th at 10:45 p.m., Hoover PD received a call from Carlee's family telling them that Carlee had returned home. Carlee was taken to a nearby hospital where she was evaluated and then sent home. No further details have been revealed at this time. Hoover PD have stated that this is an ongoing investigation. And while I am extremely happy for Carlee and her family, there are still a lot of questions that remain unanswered. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what you think happened to Carlee. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you have any information on Carlee Nicole Russell's case,
just so you know, Brad Fountain doesn't call people back easily, even if you live in Alabama. Just want you guys to know that, because that's who I called from this video. And I'm still waiting for a call back. I'm going to call him again tomorrow. But yeah, so that was that video. Let me drop you guys the link for it. I thought it was really good. I don't know who he is or what other videos he's done, but I happen to catch this one and I happen to like it. So there's the link for the video. Alabama, where'd you send it? Now, Shelly sent me video before from Gray. He believes there's a lapse in time frame. Did I get that right, Shelly? I have not got a chance to watch it yet. Oh, that's what you sent me? That was Gray's video? Do you have a timestamp? Because that video is like 3.5 hours that you sent me. Yes. Watch the first half. Gray paid for that stop? Gray paid for what stop? The second one. Okay. With Pascal and Jennifer, yes, I said that too. Time lapse. He paid for the footage. Why? So why'd he pay for the footage? What's the point? Why though? Okay. Do you see a gray car though? I mean, if you watch the whole video, do you see a gray car? Okay, but I'm saying, do you see the whole car? Do you see a gray car? Do you see another car? Or did he waste $250? Yeah, no, I have no desire to watch an hour and a half of this video. I'd fall asleep. Pascal and Jennifer Coffindoffer. Ugh. That one. No gray car. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. Okay, that's old. Alright, that's old. Why are you saying that's new?
I'm going to Emily's.
Alright, have fun. All right, so you guys see what I'm doing. I'm looking at Coffindoffer. It said she had an update of 4. I remember when Carlee Russell went missing, my DM box lit up. Everyone was so concerned. Prayers and well wishes overwhelmed the Twitter vibe. Now look, everyone is condemning her. We don't know for certain what happened. This turns out to be a hoax. There'll be consequences. All right, you're not saying anything we don't know. Okay.
Evaluated in the hospital, and if they got a hit that like button in Bright Diligence. What should we be expecting right now as far as their investigation in proving either that she really was taken or not?
Well, right now, investigators have their hands full. First of all, anytime it's a high-profile case, it's a whole different ballgame in terms of the speed at which you want to accomplish everything, in terms of the fact that a microscope is going to be on you while you're investigating and after the investigation, looking at, did you do everything right and expeditiously? So they have their hands full. The number one thing they have got to look at closely at is that tape. And I know I'm probably a lot like your people in your audience and yourself. I've watched that tape probably over a dozen times. I've seen the enhanced versions of that tape. This morning, I saw something I'd never seen before at 9:04. I saw someone in the lane putting on their turn signal to go to the shoulder. We know this happened around 9:30, but I thought that was interesting. Also, there is a possible time lapse that could have just been a glitch. I'm trying to ferret out the exact amount of time and the
Can someone please tell me what the fuck she's talking about? No car pulled over on the shoulder besides her. I don't know what Coffindoffer is even talking about.
minutes involved. It was something I was working on this morning, and then I had an obligation, and then I went back and jumped back into it. So I'm finding all of that very interesting. Certainly in what I've seen, there's such peculiar action, right? It appears Carlee gets out of the car. It appears she goes into the passenger side. It appears that there are, a lot of movement around that car. And then it appeared that a shadowy figure that it would seem as her walks toward that forest area. Now recall that forest area is flanked on the by the highway on one side, and the other side is a beautiful residential neighborhood. So it's not like she would have just disappeared into the forest. I mean, on the other side was a nice neighborhood. So I would believe law enforcement is looking at all of that footage, all the camera work. Also, they need to be looking at the footage well after the 9:30 time mark to see if anybody did come by at a later time frame. They've got their hands full, Pascal, and I just talked only about the video.
Yeah, just the traffic cam, which I'll pull it up here again one more time so we can all see it again. But as you can see right here, yeah, I mean, there was a glitch apparently, and I know some people are saying that there was a big glitch that happened in this video, but it seems odd that during that big glitch, that say the taking would happen at that significant time. It seems a bit odd that that it would be so choreographed in such a way, right? Unless there really was not just a glitch, but man-made glitch in the traffic video. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that are this. I don't know the origination of that traffic cam video. We know it's a traffic cam. I mean, we know exactly even which traffic cam. You can see it. We've seen pictures of it. But how was that disseminated to the public? And was there any portions that were removed prior to dissemination? If so, why wouldn't they have removed the part of the time frame that's really most significant?
Crucial, right?
Which we can see. But was there something prior to that? I want to know where the origination of that traffic cam came from. Where did it come from?
Right.
Do you know?
Right.
I don't know.
No, and that's the part that.
Have all of these people lost their motherfucking minds? She is now like trying to be Banfield. You don't need to know where the fuck it originated from. You're not a cop. You're not a cop on scene. So you really have no business with like, oh, well, I want to know where it originated from. Well, obviously if it's cut for a reason. But I don't think it's cut either. I think she's just starting conspiracy shit to start conspiracy. Just my opinion.
That I'd like to have figured out as well, because it just doesn't make sense. And it seems very fishy, right? That would suddenly, that part, you know, maybe that could potentially be a crucial piece. That chunk is gone, right? And it's a you know, it takes seconds.
Okay, we don't know if the chunk is gone. They're assuming the chunk is gone. Nobody's saying the chunk is gone. Guys, help me out here. Am I wrong? All right, I'm missing a lot. That's why Gray ordered the full video so that he could see what happened up to the time. He also ordered another camera's video which double proves the glitch. Okay, what glitch though? What is the actual glitch? Who would have cut it and why? The saga unfolds. The missing footage. Who is in the conspiracy? Because it is a conspiracy. That's it. It shows aliens grabbing her. Ding, ding, ding. Police investigation. Sonic Grave footage timed in 1 minute and 50 seconds. Missing time. Do 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 do.
We've seen this in other cases. There was the Eliza. I'm forgetting her name. The girl that was jogging.
Eliza Fletcher.
Eliza Fletcher. She was jogging in down the street, you know, putting her miles in, training for the Boston Marathon, and this monster just jumps out, grabs her, and throws her in the back of the car, and drives off. And that took seconds, right? Seconds. So it could be that situation where if there is a chunk of a minute or plus or more that is missing here, somebody, I mean, that could literally say or show that somebody may have pulled up, taken her with a little bit of struggle, thrown her in the car, and drove off. But that's terrible that glitch is there. So it is a bit strange. Now, I know that 5-0, okay, police are going to be doing everything they can. They're going to be doing their due.
Okay, let me just remind everybody of something, though. There's not just one camera. There's other cameras. So if it's cut on one, it would have to be cut on all of them. So what's the conspiracy behind it? Is this now a big conspiracy that someone at Alabama Transportation who released the video cut the video? What would be the motive behind cutting out a chunk of this video The police wouldn't cut it out. Only a kidnapper would cut it out. So that would tell me the kidnapper is either a cop or the kidnapper is someone from the Alabama Department of Transportation. It's a glitch. My guess is it's a glitch too. There's no conspiracy. Mark my words.
Due diligence, covering everything. But one thing that does kind of bother me, that's this kind of still itching at me, okay? It's a scratch that is, it's an itch I can't scratch, right? The baby. Right. Let's talk about the baby really quick, okay? Not the baby, guys. All right. Now, she pulls up. She sees this toddler on the side of the road. She calls 911. She calls her friends. Then the taking moment happens, right? Now, one thing that I still can't wrap around my mind, or wrap around my head, or at least the question that keeps looming over my head, or in my head, is where is this said toddler, right? Has there been any reports of a missing child, so on and so forth? And of course, according to police reports, and in their statement, they said the only time that there's ever been mentioned about a toddler on the side of the road is from her and no one else. So I keep wondering, where's this baby at? What's up with that? What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. And that's the part of the story that really, I think, makes everyone believe this is contrived. Because nobody else saw the baby, and we're talking about a 3 or 4 year old per the description given, in diapers, I believe, per the description given. And the police have been very staunch that, listen, we don't have any missing toddler. And I think another very important point here, to segue just a teeny bit, we don't have anything from police asking for the public's help in finding the abductor. We don't have anything from the police saying, be on the lookout. We have
That's exactly what I'm saying. Shelly, I'll get to it in a minute. That's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. And Jen, the only reason why I think that's not true of why they wouldn't do that is because they're still putting a danger out there. They're still putting, this alleged kidnapper criminal. They would say what kind of car he's in, something. Again, Alabama's Alabama. Some of the things I've seen police do here, I would never think in a million years, in a negative way, not in a positive way. So I have a hard time believing that, cops just cut it out because they were protecting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Denise, I say a lot of things. Just call me Rodney Dangerfield. Because the people come in here with stuff I've said like 2 weeks ago. I'm like,
potential kidnapper. I find that very odd in terms of law enforcement protocol. You don't want to frighten the public, but you really, in a case like this, want to seek the public's help. So we have 3 pieces to that, right? That aren't lining up. But Pascal, this is the piece that bothers me, and why I think we have to at least consider that this was some sort of mental break. The relative.
See, and I don't think this was a mental break at all. I don't know where that started from. I think it's a ludicrous theory. This woman has had no mental breakdowns ever. She's a studying psychologist. You don't have a mental breakdown with no history of mental illness where all of a sudden you see a child on the road and you're not on drugs or anything. Sorry, no. That's not a mental illness. She didn't all of a sudden have some mental breakdown where she saw a child, she screamed, she left all her stuff in the car. That absolutely doesn't make sense. Now, if it comes back she was on drugs and she got paranoid and she left her car and she ran in the woods, I am all for that. She saw ninjas in the trees, can totally buy that. Thank you, Tanya. I would buy that. I would say slam dunk, totally agree. Been there, done that. That I can understand. But as far as a mental breakdown, no, that's like taken by aliens. Not buying that one at all.
Yo, don't hit subscribe. I always try to tell them, but they do it every time. I tell them it's a problem, but they acting like it's fine. I'm begging them to stop, but they leave me with a like.
I don't believe she was lured either. I believe it was a simple case of a hoax. Too many things point to a hoax. Too many. Not just like one or two. Lots of things point to a hoax.
Says that they heard her speaking to the toddler, but no response back. Right. Now, that's a little eerie to me now.
See, and this is where I disagree with her. I don't think it's eerie at all. I think it's a blatant lie. Because again, where the car was parked is compared to where she, the cops say and all this other stuff. She allegedly got out of the car, never left the passenger side, but she got out of the car and allegedly spoke to this child. That is a setup. That is what we call a setup. Plain and simple. Because again, I'll repeat this for the 100th time. If she was driving around, saw the child, and then swung back around or something like that, but couldn't find the child again, and then the sister-in-law heard a scream, I could totally buy all of that. I would have a completely different story if that was the case, but that's not the case. She got out of her car, went to the other side, and right next to her passenger side, she saw a baby, and she spoke to the baby. So she saw the baby right where she pulled over because that's when she spoke to the baby, whether the baby returned or not. Now, you can see tree ninjas, you can see cocaine ninjas, you can see meth ninjas, you can see all the fucking ninjas you want. But you know what you don't do when you see a cocaine or a meth ninja? You don't pull up and talk to them. That I can promise. The fact that she pulled up and talked to them told me it was a setup. It is not a mental breakdown. It is not a drug ring. It is not schizophrenia. It is a very simple, remember you heard it here first. It is a simple setup. That's it. The aliens were hungry. Exactly. It was a complete setup. So before she arrives in a frame, a car turns on blinker like they were going to pull over, then glitch happens. He also showed her car sat for a minute before coming into complete frame, possibly meeting someone. Or she was taking off her Apple Watch. When you listen to my voicemail, I was finally able to get a screenshot of what I was talking about in the voicemail. Okay. Hold on. She saw Tyler, went to next exit. No, that's just been theory. That's just been a theory, Jen. There's no proof of that. That's always just been a theory. But it's too far. The next exit after that is over 10 minutes away. So no, that didn't happen either. But again, all of this could be true. However, she spoke to the child right outside her car. So this alleged child was sitting right outside of her car and nobody else saw it. Because we watched her get out of the driver's side and go around to the other side. And when she went around to the other side is when she allegedly spoke to this baby. So that means that baby was right in front of her. And then I guess her and the baby ran off into the woods. I don't know. But yeah, no mental breakdown, no schizophrenia. Setup, yes.
Again, you know, if you look at the Sherry Papini case, I mean, she hurt herself. I mean, she really...
The health crisis, or it was a hoax. So let's talk about the hoax side. When it comes to this baby, the family friend or the family relative, okay, or like it was somebody's, it was like a relative's girlfriend, if I'm correct, was on the phone with her. Who's to say?
Okay, Pascal, it turns out it wasn't even a relative. It wasn't a brother. It was a brother in Christ. In my opinion, it was somebody who wanted to get famous on being close to a case. We see that every day.
That she wasn't in on this ruse. Who's to say that she wasn't in on this con, right? On this lie. So I feel like we have to think about that possibility. Unfortunately, and I hate to do that, you know what I mean? But Sherry Papini, for example, perfect example of a situation of someone. And just so you guys know, Sherry Papini was a woman that I guess wanted to get out of this relationship that she was in, wanted to get out of back in my mind, like she was having this affair with somebody else. But she wanted to get out of the relationship that she was currently in with her husband. So she put up a huge act on and staging this. So when I look at something like this, and of course that I'm going, okay, I wish toddler tried to render aid. The 911 call at least would give us a little bit more transparency of what actually went down here in this particular moment. So yeah, it is interesting that we don't have any information about a description of the baby. And then you just said as well, the abductor, right? Now, I do want to ask you this too, because I think this is incredibly important, I think. Now, there is an interview, okay, that the parents had. And guys, go check it out. I just did a video about it, okay? I just reacted to it. But in this video, the mother or the parents are both sitting there in solidarity, basically tripling down on the claims that there is a monster out there in these streets. Now, when it comes to the police and their investigation, wouldn't they have put out a description, a full-on description of the abductor, regardless if, let's just say, Carlee wanted to keep it private? Wouldn't they put out that information? Because that would still be a threat to society, right? A threat to the community, right?
That's my biggest issue with this case. When I say my biggest issue, that is my biggest red flag. And there's a lot of red flags on the hoax side, but I still think we cannot discount the possibility of a mental break. And we can't totally discount the possibility of an abduction, but the red flags are flying on the fact that it was a hoax, because we haven't heard anything from law enforcement about the description of the abductor. And that is something that if they were 100% convinced there was an abductor, I would expect to see that. I would expect to see possibly a sketch, certainly police asking for help, certainly coming out as a public service announcement saying, listen, if you are anywhere around this area, lock your doors, don't pull over. You know, this is a ruse we think could be used. And we're not hearing anything. And that, for me, gives me a lot of pause in this situation, certainly.
Okay. And that still leans on the side of possible mental health issue, or?
And if 10 minutes from there, I know there's a lot of upset people in our parents' neighborhood that are wanting answers because they were out there searching. You know what, Nemrak? I forgot about that. I absolutely forgot about that. That there were a lot of people searching for her, and they're not getting answers either. Arguing with a stripper over boyfriend? What channel? Hey, Fayette, how you feeling, by the way? Schizophrenia would manifest before what? Yeah, no. Parents may be oblivious. Yeah, I don't think the parents are involved. I really don't. That's why I don't believe it's legit, Mindy. I really don't. There's like Coffenduffer said, there's too many red flags to show it's a hoax. The biggest one being what we see with our own eyes. That is the biggest reason why it's a hoax. We see it with our own eyes. She gets out of the car, she goes around the other side, and she allegedly speaks to this baby. All within a matter of a minute and a half. It just doesn't add up. Is it a new video? Is it an old video? She could have took a trip or something with a friend in the car. No, because remember she was on the phone. Allegedly, woman on TikTok knows the truth about Carlee. Oh, that's just hearsay, though.
What if you could do?
What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok?
Carlee Russell planned to disappear over her man cheating. All right, I'm going to put on this. This is alleged. Okay, alleged. This is just somebody from TikTok. Just remember that.
So, the update I never wanted to truly have to report on. So, we've all been talking about the Carlee Russell case. This is her Instagram, Carlee. Over the last few days, you know, she shocked the nation. And black women all over the country felt empowered. We felt finally pleased that America was caring about black women. Every national news outlet was reporting about Carlee Russell. This is the first time this has ever happened. The hunt was on to find this black girl. But then when she showed up at our house, it got a little greasy. Why did it get?
For those of you that may take her wrong, let me explain. Usually black women do not go viral, especially that quickly. So I totally get what this girl is saying. And she's right. At first I was like, okay, here we go, someone else making it racist. But no, she's right. For a black woman to go that quick, to go viral that fast, is kind of unheard of. So that's what she's talking about. And honestly, I totally agree.
A little greasy because she just showed up. So then that's when the world got divided. Wait, what's going on? Something is not right here. Okay, we don't want to speak. We want our privacy. Something is going on. What is going on? Well, when you start talking about something, people start DMing you the truth. It looks like 50 people from Hoover have already got fired for leaking what's really going on with this case. And it's trickled into my DM. So you mean to tell me?
Okay, I don't see how anybody would actually know that 50 people got fired from Hoover. And on what information, what jobs did they have? That's what I want to know. So I don't believe that. That 50 people were fired. How would the public find out? Yeah, and where were they fired from? What information did they leak? We haven't gotten any leaked information. So I call bullshit on that.
All this was because she was trying to get back at her ex-man. Yeah, that boyfriend that spoke out about her being kidnapped and held and tortured. Yeah, that was her ex-man. And he actually cheated on her with a stripper. And Carlee had it out with the stripper. And to get back at him, yeah, she disappeared herself. And then got afraid when it blew up. This is what Carlee said to the side chick. Itch, please. He told me everything you said about me and you thought I told him to say that. I wasn't even with him. You're delusional AF if you think your little conversation was anything more than convenience and the fact that he used you to get back at me out of anger. You want to talk about I don't compare to you on your worst day? Girl, bye. You're miserable, or at least should be, being a stripper to provide for a child I've heard you've had from multiple people. So not surprised you don't know who your baby daddy is. Mention me or contact my NIGGA again And you'll see I'm not the one to play with. You don't want you and your whole family touched. You're poor. I'm rich. You're a stripper. I'm a nurse. You're ugly. I'm beautiful. You could never. You're the bottom of the barrel. Someone from the police department just could not watch us all suffer. So they released these details. Here's the update. She's sticking to the story that she was abducted. She says she was lured into the woods by some people who live in the woods, described as a person with orange hair, balding on top, tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her cheeses for 2 days, and they painted her nails. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she managed to get away and run through the woods to her neighborhood until she got into her house and then goes into the hospital. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage from her neighborhood, and it just shows her walking casually until she gets close to her house, and then she starts sprinting and flailing arms and acting a fool. She got caught stealing from work that day, failed out of nursing school, and has been on drugs. She had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The police knew she was safe because she unblocked her ex while she was quote-unquote abducted. She planned to disappear and realized it wasn't going to work. What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? Ring doorbell footage from her neighborhood, and it just shows her walking casually until she gets close to her house, and then she starts sprinting and...
Now that's funny, because isn't that what I said? I was talking about her feet, that she wasn't running. I don't know where these updates came from. I don't know who put these out. They're only pieces. They can be complete BS. I have no idea. But it's interesting.
Flailing arms and acting a fool. She got caught stealing from work that day, fell down.
Now this part I find interesting. Captain of Hoover Police Department. I don't know if I buy that. She got caught stealing from work that day, failed out of nursing school, and has been on drugs. Okay, I don't in any capacity believe that the captain of Hoover Fire Department would ever say anything like that. Even if it was true, he would never say anything like that. She had a friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The captain of Hoover Fire Department would not know that either. The police knew she was safe because she blocked her ex-boyfriend weeks ago, and she added him back while she was abducted. Possibly. He called the cops to tell them half a day before she went back home. She planned to disappear, realized this wasn't going to work. Wild. Yeah, and she lived on Cheez-Its? Okay. Yeah, these are definitely not Captain of Hoover Fire Department. They ran out of Cheez-Its, they dropped her off. Exactly. Here's the update. Okay, from who? From who? She's sticking to the she was abducted. Says she was lured into the woods by some people who live in the woods. Okay, nobody lives in those woods. Those weren't normal woods. They're very shallow, and you don't live in those. So that's a blatant lie. And I don't believe she ever said that. Described a person with orange hair, balding on top, and tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her Cheez-Its for 2 days. Okay. And they painted her nails. Because don't you know, I guess she has freshly painted nails, but don't you know that every single kidnapper in an 18-wheeler feeds you Cheez-Its and paints your nails? Only the ones with orange hair that are balding. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she manages to get away and runs through the woods. Now, mind you, if she was tied up, she would have marks of being tied up. She runs through the woods to her neighborhood until she gets to her house. Okay, here's the other thing. If you live in the woods, you wouldn't have an 18-wheeler. So if you have an 18-wheeler, you probably don't live in the woods. Just saying. Especially when these woods are shallow. They're not deep at all. Nobody's living in them. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage from her neighbors, and it just shows her walking casually until she gets close to the house, and then she starts sprinting and flailing arms and acting a fool. That I agree with. But yeah, this is insane. I don't know who the woman was on TikTok, but this is all a lie. None of this is true. If it turns out to be true, I'll eat my feet. But yeah, this is not true. Totally fake. And it's someone who didn't study the area who wrote this, because you can't live in those woods. When she's supposed to buy 2 lots of food, but she only got 1. I don't know. I know I've heard that rumor, but I don't know how true it is. Always blame it on a ginger. Exactly, right, Crystal? Redheaded stepchild. So yeah, I'm not buying that at all. Huh. APRM Beauty 81. APRN Beauty 81 TikTok. Oh, that's her. Wait, I'm confused. I guess she's a nurse. Oh, she is a nurse. Well, this is an interesting channel. Let me give you guys a link for those on TikTok. So I think it's the girl we just watched. But she's a nurse, I guess, and her whole channel is like crimes related to nurses. Everything's something with a nurse. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not on here. Crazy. Took her meal with her, Cheez-Its, exactly. Yeah, I'll show you guys. Pretty cool channel. I mean, if you're a nurse, you're into this stuff. But every single one is about different nurse cases. Steals baby, teen mom charged. Nurse who wore blackface. Staff walk out of Rise Nursing. Like, everything is nurse. That's pretty cool. Healthcare paying. Private nurse. It's a whole channel. Colorado State Hospital. St. Joe's Hospital. It's all about them nurses. That's pretty cool, though. Crazy, crazy. That's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me see. Hold on. Shelly, can I play these live? Or should I not play them live? I need Shelly's permission before I play these. I don't want to just play somebody's audio without their permission. Oh, Shelly. Five, four, three, two, one. I'm going to play it. Shelly, better answer. Nurses get all the gossip, I'm telling you. Play them? Yeah, she was just explaining to me how stuff about the Gray's video or whatever. I'm going to play it. Juicy stuff right here, and then I'm going to get up because I got to make dinner and it's going to rain, as you can hear. You guys can hear the thunder and lightning. It says heavy rain soon. All right, I'm playing it.
Hi, Laura. It's Shelly. I just wanted to explain, without using Gray's video, what happened. So at 9:30, so 4 minutes before Carlee appears in the camera, there's another car that pulled over into the shoulder at 9:30 p.m. and 4 seconds. And right as soon as that car is starting to pull in, the camera goes to black and then picks up and a minute and 46 seconds later. So that might have been cut. We don't know at this point. But it's very suspicious and odd that it's at the same exact spot where Carlee pulled over. I hope this makes sense. This is suspicious because this is the only car in the entire hour that pulls over to the shoulder, except for Carlee. And this car pulled over approximately 4 minutes before Carlee did. And they cut it out right when the car was pulling over. So I think maybe someone pulled over, someone else got out, and then met Carlee and then walked off with her. That's what I think. But that's just my speculation.
Yeah, that makes sense, though.
I wanted to clarify, when you see the full hour video of just the surveillance camera, so the traffic camera, at the time that, at that 9:30 and 4 seconds point when that car starts to pull over to the shoulder, it doesn't black out. It just cuts to a minute 46 seconds later. So I wanted to explain that.
One, two, three.
Also, just a quick other detail. Also, at about 9 minutes and 31 seconds, you can see Carlee's flashers at that first mile marker, whatever that, the one that she's sitting at. So I guess it would be where the traffic camera is at 0.7. So you can see that her flashers are on for 3 minutes, which is when I think she was talking to the police. Sorry, I have to correct myself again. So at 9:30 and 4 seconds, you see that car pulling over. At 9:31, you can see Carlee's lights flashing at the bottom of the screen. So all you see are the lights flashing. You don't see the car. But I think that that's when she was talking to police.
Okay. Thank you, Shelly. My question, though, is why would she call the police? If she really wanted to take off for a long time, why even bother calling the police? Just leave your car open? Wait for people to say that you're missing? You know what I mean? Or was it some bad social experiment? Let's see if we can make myself go viral. I don't know. But honestly, I don't believe this story for 1 second. Not for 1 second. If the police come back and tell me that this was an absolute abduction, here's what can happen. If somebody else, I mean, it's Alabama, it doesn't happen often. If somebody else gets abducted before they do a press release, that person's family can fucking own all of Alabama. So let me explain what I mean by that if you're confused. If somebody, let's say something happened, God forbid, to one of Sage's friends. I'm not even saying her. I'll say one of her friends. And God forbid something happened and she was kidnapped on the side of the road. Her family would fucking own that police department. Why? Because they can sue them for not putting out a press release. They could sue them for not saying anything about an abductor, and they would win. That's why I find it hard to believe that if it was real, they wouldn't put out a press release. Because even I know that if something else should happen while they're not saying anything, that family could own them. Like literally. So that's another reason that comes back to me that I absolutely do not believe that anything happened. I believe it was a total hoax. I believe it was a total setup for all the reasons I mentioned today. There's just no way that the police would make themselves that vulnerable that they would allow something like this, you know, to put them in jeopardy. Because again, a family could own them and could take down the entire police department. So I don't believe she was abducted. I believe she left willingly with a friend or somebody. Now, what that other car is, I don't know. Only thing I'm thinking, and maybe this is why the police cut it, and then I'm going to get off, but I just thought of this. Check this out. Check this out. What if everybody to date is half right? What I mean by that is, okay, so let's assume that there was another break in the video. There was a break in the video. There was this altercation. There was another car. Let's say all of that is true. Now let's piece this together. Think about this. What if the other car they saw was actually Carlee pulling over to let the other person know where she was pulling over? Everybody's assuming that it was her in her car, but no, it may not be her in her car. She may have switched cars with whoever she ran away with at the restaurant. So she drives. She's driving. She pulls over on the side of the road in whatever car this was to let somebody know that that's where she was pulling over. The person, and now she's on the phone making all these phone calls to make it look legit. A couple of minutes later, however long later, this other person that's driving her car willingly, not that it was stolen, this other car driving willingly, maybe has a wig on, just in case they got on camera. So they wanted to emulate looking like Carlee. So that's why the wig was on the floor, because the person took it off. And hold on, let me finish my story, Quinn. And then when we see somebody getting out of the car, the person getting out of the car is the person that Carlee said to drive her car. She gets in the passenger seat to take off whatever thing she had on, leaves the car and everything. They leave, and Carlee screams to make it look real. Done. Done. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. I just made this up as I went along, but let me repeat that. Carlee wasn't driving Carlee's car. Carlee was driving this other car that Grace sees that disappeared. Carlee's friend, or whoever she was running away with, was in her car. They didn't know what cameras were around, so she wore a wig to make it look like it was Carlee. Maybe they switched phones. Nah, I don't think they switched phones. But Carlee pulled over to let them know. The reason why the cops pulled out that piece of video, because they need to find that car. They need to prove that Carlee was in that car. They can't prove Carlee was in that car if they release that to the public, because what that's doing is that's letting Carlee know that they're onto her. They don't want Carlee to know that they're onto her. So they are cut out that piece of the video so they have a case against Carlee or the person that was driving Carlee's car. It's obviously too far away to say that it was, there. We also don't know if Carlee was calling from inside her car. We have no idea. All they know is that it was in that vicinity. The cops, there's no technology that can prove she was physically in her car. So Carlee may have called from the other car. Carlee's car pulls up, has the brakes on all this time. Hazards on because they're letting Carlee know they're coming. Because they can't call each other. Because that would be a dead ass giveaway. So they can't call each other. So their only communication is probably the cars. She was pulling up. Whoever was driving Carlee's car was pulling up. Again, if anybody saw Carlee, they had to wear a wig on. They had to make sure it looked like her. Because remember, the family said she might not be wearing her hair. In the pictures I've seen, she looked like she had extensions, not a wig. Just saying. But I don't know. So, because they were talking about braids. Why would she have braids down to her ass and wear a wig? That didn't make sense either. So Carlee, so this other person that's wearing a wig gets out of her car, goes around to the other side, gets rid of the wig, takes off the wig, gets in the car, takes off the wig and everything, gets out of the car. Carlee lets them know that she's in the woods. The person goes in the woods, Carlee screams, and there you go. The person dropped the phone. Problem solved. Case closed. I just figured it all out. That's it. The whole case. I'll tell the police my theory. No, but seriously though, that's what I think happened. That is exactly how I think this went down. That Carlee was not the one driving her car. You suspect foul play, there's no foul play. Only foul play that she's a scammer. And it really has nothing to do with money. Her Apple Watch was in the car also, not on her exactly. That's exactly what I think it is. And I think that's why they pulled that piece of footage. They pulled that piece of footage because they need to line it up and they don't want Carlee to know they're onto them. They don't want Carlee to know exactly what they know or what they think. I think I'm going to upload that in a short video. He's playing devil's advocate here based on facts. The facts are that it leans towards a hoax. Yeah, but you have to remember, Jen, it's not really woods she went into. We're not talking woods. We're talking a thin, like, trees. It wasn't actually woods that she went into. Case solved here, exactly. After I watch Gray's video, I will upload that theory. But just remember, when 50 more people come out with it, you heard it here first. I'm going to title it Rodney Dangerfield. I asked my son that too, Cindy. Do you ever take your Apple Watch off? He said when he showers. Power outages. Cliffs Cove. How she disappeared so quickly. A lot of things. I think they said it was in her purse. A kidnapper who went to her car is going to take her valuables, especially in a Mercedes. Mom's interview and traffic cam bring more light to the point right before cops got there. The only thing that Mom's interview showed is that Mom is not involved. That it did show. I do not believe for 1 second that her parents are involved in this. And I want to make that loud and clear. It's not her parents that are involved. This is strictly Carlee. Yeah, we're in bad storms. I'm going to get off, though. But I'm going to put out a video later. As long as I still have internet. But let me make dinner for them. Oh, the neighborhood is showing power everywhere. Power outages everywhere. Power went out 3 miles away 10 minutes ago. Another neighbor went out 2 miles away. Uh-oh. Hope I don't lose power. We got 3.6 miles away power outage, 4.2 miles away power outage, 3.5 miles away power outage, 3.0 miles away power outage, 4.1 outage. So, all right, I'm going to get off though. So I can cook dinner in case we do lose power. Assuming we don't lose power, I will upload a video later. I'm going to watch Gray's video, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, though. I really am. Uh-oh. We got another power outage 2 miles away. This is not good, people. Not good. Well, you know what? I got candles. If we do have a power outage, I certainly have enough candles. So it won't be in the dark. Quinn wants to, I can't right now. I'm already on 2 hours and 15 minutes. I got to get Phoenix dinner. And I don't want to lose power before I cook. The poor kid can't even walk. So that's why. But Quinn, definitely another time. You're in West Alabama? Yeah. I'm in Northern Alabama. Madison. And we keep getting ding, 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 power outage, power outage, power outage. But I'm telling you, I just solved this case. Absolutely just solved this case. That is what happened. That is what went down. And again, I will upload a video in a little while so people don't have to watch my entire video. But yeah, there you go. All right, I will see you guys later. Shelly, thank you for that info. And have a wonderful night, guys.